Ladies and gentlemen, today is an exciting day. New bike parts have arrived. Arrived? I meant to say arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, today is an exciting day in the bicycle world as some more new bicycle parts have arrived. Rockshox today is dropping a couple new forks and a rear shock. Their SID lineup, SID, it's kind of their premier, extremely lightweight cross-country fork line. So a new SID SL that's coming for 2021. Yes, I'm aware that it's March 2020. I'm not responsible for the 2021, but their 2021 model year.
Tell them, McCluskey. Tell them what time it is.
But they're epic. Most importantly, the new SID Ultimate and Select, which is a 35mm, 120mm travel bike. Damn it. Last month, I was at a Rockshox event where I got to learn all about their two new forks and their new rear shock. Most notably, my personal takeaways, Rockshox, everyone there is dead focused on just making competitive products for the industry and also filling voids where they kind of don't have the perfect fork. They also realized that there's a lot of overlap and complexity in their model names and naming conventions and variants and all of that. So they're really introducing new forks, new models, new variants to try and clean things up, simplify it a little bit, while also simultaneously hitting these perfect niches. So one of the growing niches in the mountain bike world is these, you could call them trail bikes, XC plus bikes, down country bikes you might hear out there, but they're kind of like 120 or 100 mil rear travel bikes with 120 to 140 fork in the front. Those are getting really popular. Our head mechanic here, Liam Woods, he's riding a Mondraker F Podium, so 100 mil in the back, 120 mil in the front is how he's running it. A lot of different bikes out there kind of in that travel range that are really fun, just like fast. They're not XC bikes, but they're not enduro bikes. They're somewhere in the mean. I like to call them trail bikes. But they're perfect, they're fast, they're super fun to ride. It's a really popular style bike. Rockshox is hitting the nail on the head with this new fork. So this is a 35mm stanchion SID. So now the SID is going to be a 35mm stanchion, 120mm travel only fork. The SID SL is going to be the 32mm stanchion, ultra lightweight cross-country race fork, and the SIDLuxe rear shock is going to work for both of those scenarios in different sizes. So the reason I want to talk about the new SID, comes in two variants, Ultimate and Select, right off the bat. This is brand new. They've never done a 35mm stanchion SID. Why is that important? Well, traditionally the SIDs, the way they are now and the way they have been, have all been 32mm stanchions. So they're a little noodly feeling at 120 mils of travel. And pretty lightweight, so it might feel a little undergunned on these downcountry bikes. Or you could get a 120mm travel pike. The pike might be a little too robust and a little too heavy for what you're looking for. So that's where Rockshox was trying to fill this gap. This gap had previously been filled,
That's what she said,
by Fox. So Fox makes a 34 step cast fork, only available in 120mm travel, specifically for these type of bikes. So the Yeti SB100 is a bike we sell commonly in our stores that has the 34 step cast factory on the front of it. People love that fork, and it's kind of really filling that niche. The MRP Ribbon SL is another contender there. That's what Rockshox was trying to fill. So they made a fork that is 35mm stanchion, good stiff fork, torque cap compatible, but much lighter. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Not only is it lighter, it's actually a bit less expensive than the competitors as well. So the new SIDs, $899 to $969 for the Ultimate, the high-end version. The $969 being the remote, handlebar remote lockout, of course. 34 step cast, $959 to $1,039. Again, the less expensive one is just the traditional. $1,039 is when you get the remote lockout. MRP Ribbon is at $940. So Rockshox is definitely being aggressive and paying attention to weight ranges, what bikes need what forks these days, what price points they need to hit, and all of that sort of stuff. So this thing is epic. It is like a 35mm stanchion miniature ultra lightweight pike, which is perfect for those downcountry XC Plus trail bikes, whatever you want to call them. Really cool new fork from Rockshox that I'm stoked on and happy to see this come out, because Rockshox was definitely sort of missing that. They had a SID Ultimate, current model is a 32mm stanchion and 120, or the Pike 120, like I said. Either of them really perfectly fit. This perfectly fits. So their model line is getting simplified for a lot of these forks. This is what I was most excited about because it's most applicable to what I ride and what I think a lot of you guys that watch this channel ride. The SID SL is an extremely lightweight, crazy new cross-country fork. We don't have one of those on hand, but we will at some point. We'll be showing it off for you guys. As usual with all of our videos, down below in the video description, there's a link to an article that has extensive details and specifications on all this sort of stuff. If you want to check that out, please do. Couple things to note on the new SIDs, SID Ultimate, SID Select. They've redesigned the whole crown, so this thing has like way more beautiful machining, looks absolutely incredible. All the new top caps, much more just like cut out, stealth bomber looking. They did kind of the same thing with the lowers as well. The industrial design is just getting a lot more sharp and edgy and stealth bomber-like on these things. I definitely am a big fan of the new design of that. The other huge thing that I really like is now on the arch of the fork, there's threaded holes for a fender, a bolt-on fender, which is killer, so you don't have to zip tie your fender on anymore. And these things come in the box with a fender. Thank the Lord.
We thank you so much.
Stoked on that. It's about time brands caught onto that. So that's a gist on the two new forks, the SID and the SID SL. Now let's talk about the SIDLuxe rear shock. This is the new SIDLuxe rear shock, made to pair with the new SID and SID SL forks. As you can see, it's not actually here. We don't have one of these shocks at the shop at the moment, but I got to play with one and bounce up and down on one when I was at that Rockshox event last month, and they are extremely light. Rockshox's goal was to make the absolute lightest rear shock for XC/downcountry bikes that would be compatible with their two new forks. So the shock's going to be available in standard mount and trunnion mount for bikes with a shock stroke up to 50mm. So that fits a decent range of sort of shorter travel 120 to 130 mil bikes. They were so obsessed about making this thing so small and so lightweight and to match perfectly, not only in feel and looks and everything with the new SID forks, but one of the things they did to make it extremely lightweight. So the compression now is just open or lock out. You had to adjust the rebound. They wanted it so light, they didn't want to put a knob on it because it was heavier. So to adjust the rebound, you flick the switch over, and there is actually an Allen wrench that adjusts the rebound on your SID fork, 2.5mm Allen. You take this, put that in your rear shock, and that's how you adjust the rebound on your rear shock. So this is how you adjust it on your fork, same tool for your rear shock. Crazy attention to detail and making things insanely light. So that's kind of what people are looking for in the XC world, because again, this shock's going to sort of pair with the downcountry bikes, but also with the lightest XC bikes on the planet. It's pretty cool there. You can still adjust the thing with tokens, so if you want to tune the air spring and get that really dialed in, you can have 0, 1, or 2 tokens in there if you want to make the thing more progressive. And they've really tried to make this thing the perfect tune for basically these different bikes that it's going to be going on, whether that's a full-blown XC race rig or sort of like a more downcountry 120mm travel bike, and anywhere in between. So they are going to be offering it on a lot of bikes OEM, meaning out of the box, as well as aftermarket options and some of the more common tunes. You can have the thing custom tuned if you wanted. That's sort of Rockshox's MO with this rear shock, and yeah, I'm excited to try it and get it on a bike paired with this thing. We know of some secret new bikes that are coming out this year, hopefully, fingers crossed, that have sort of the new SID forks on it and the new SID rear shocks on it. So that's going to be something you're going to see in the XC and the lightweight trail downcountry world coming up. So that is everything you need to know today about the 3 new products that Rockshox just dropped. Let us know down in the comments if you guys want us to compare this stuff to the premium offering from Fox. So Fox kind of owns that segment really well, like I mentioned, with that 34-step cast and 120, the factory version of it. And their rear shocks are great for that travel range as well. Rockshox is fiercely competing in that segment against them right now like they do in all the other segments. So pretty cool stuff. If there's demand and you guys want us to do a really in-depth comparison of how these things feel on trail, Rockshox versus Fox, please let us know down in the comments. Please hit that subscribe button for more amazing mountain bike content, and we'll see you in the next video.